One second. There we go. And we're back. Alrighty. I have a Helbrute who is metallicized. He's got some green on him. I'm going to drop some streaking grime on him. And then I'm going to do this base. It's basically just green stuff with some eyeballs jammed in it. Then I'm going to give it some sort of fleshy color. So it's going to stand on a skin base. I'm going to grime this guy first because he needs 15 minutes to sit aside. Then I'll start hitting his base with some probably Gilliman flesh to start. It's one of my fleshes of choice. I'll put this glove on, and now I've got to choose which grime with. Of note, there are plenty of things that aren't painted yet, but they're mostly things that I want to stand out a lot. So I'm going to grime him first, then I'll hit the horns afterwards. They may get a little bit of discoloration, they may get their own passive grime after, but I want to hit the whole thing first. You'll also note that I haven't hit the metal edging yet. That's because I'm using Warp Lock Bronze and it's pretty dark, and I want to make sure that the shine that it's got left in it is intact when I do this. So he's just getting grimed up right now. This is, yeah, winter streaking grime, which I've never used. So we'll see how that goes. Got to shake the daylights out of this stuff. And see, do I have everything that I need to do that job? I do. Also have my mineral spirits. So basically, I'm just glopping this stuff all over this guy. Get this thing cracked open. I feel you, buddy. I feel you. Oh, this isn't actually working. New one of these guys. Give it a stir. There we go. There's a good amount of grossness. I'll just leave this here on my paper towel in case I need a little bit more. But this stuff is pretty gnarly. All right. Look at that. Looks delicious, right? Whole model's getting it. I've got a nice old, big, beat up brush that I don't have to worry about survival rate with. And here we go. All over the place. Gotta get a nice bath and then I'll get 15 minutes to think about it. And I don't have to get any on the face or the horns. But I also don't have to avoid them like crazy because this stuff goes on the whole thing, and then with mineral spirits comes off later. So we're all about coverage right now, and this whole spine thing is an obvious treat. I got to get a lot of coverage on. But I'm just glopping this big brush in here, pulling out a pile of this stuff, getting it on there. Away we go. How are folks doing? I was going to say tonight, but for you guys, it's morning. You guys are savages. Oh, yeah, right in there. I do like this grime color. All down this thing, get into all little cracks and stuff, get on the blade. This thrashing tentacle whip thing will get other rusty treatment after, but it's going to be after this grime stuff comes off. That works. Hey man, if you wanna hang out till 2:30 in the morning, that's you're a champion. It is late. Alrighty. Getting all over these parts. It's like an oil bath for C3PO. And this stuff is scary. Certainly scared the daylights out of me the first time I used it. I had to sort of be coached along a little bit. I've gotten it to work once. Now, for something like this, I think it's going to be really cool. Make it look weathered very fast. Look like it's been in the warp for far too long, as it has been. And it also has an amazing amount of this sort of like blend of, you can see right there, like pipes and tubes, and then just sort of weird, weird nondescript body. So this will darken things up quite nicely. Oh yeah, you're grimy boy. And I can just set this guy aside to stand. I will set a clock for 15. And then things will get fumy in here, and I'll start having visions. We'll see how he goes. But I'm excited to work on his base also. Got the interesting idea from Lizard Wizard last night of a flesh base. I had all these eyeballs out, and I was like, I'm not sure what I want to do. I don't think I want to put any on the model himself, but it would be kind of nice if I could involve eyeballs on the base. Look at how dirty this thing is. Blah. He was like, flesh base. You know what? Great idea. Ship it. So, yeah, full grime treatment. Dirty McGurdy. And I'll go in and I'll do the details a bit later. Got to get inside all these little machine bits, grime them up. I'm good. I am good. Good to see you as well. My friends who keep strange hours. No judgment. But I'm not sure I have anyone who ever watches me do this that is in my time zone. But if it's entertaining for you, I'm more than pleased. Late night crew. And I have heard several people to say that my voice sort of makes them close to falling asleep. So if I'm like white noise in the background, you just nod off, more power to you. I am not about all that crazy fast changing jump cutty stuff. I'm about droning, rambling, painting models. So I think if I look around this guy enough, I think I got just about all of them. There's a little spot in here I didn't get. It can be a little bit of a challenge when you've got a dark primer and undercoat to find everything. But you just work your way around, and man, that stuff stinks. All right, there's your boy. Looks like he fell in the mud. I'm gonna let him sit in the corner a little bit. Wash this brush. it's a challenge because man, I do like having cats in here. I definitely don't need this eyedropper anymore. But only one out of the three of them behaves in any sane manner when they're in this room. I'm dropping off already. Good. Good. It's a sleep aid channel. I'm going to grab a different brush. There we go. Yeah, this guy's healthy. And now, haha, I got a little bit of grime on this thing because it was flicking around so much. I got to remember that. I go really fast with the grime and it ends up flicking. I use a long brush and it ends up flicking the end of it. It gets all over the place. But considering this is made out of rotting flesh, I'm not sure it's too big of a problem. So per usual, I'm just going to dab a little in. See how that looks? Yeah, it looks good. This may need more than one coat of this. There's a couple grooves that I put in here that should hold a lot of this Gilliman flesh. Yeah, it's gonna look like something. Happy skin. Well, this guy's certainly gonna stand up and get around all these eyeballs. I may need to clean a little bit on the eyeballs, but if they look a little roomy, that's fine. So this is all green stuff, and then I let that dry overnight, and then I hit it with iron rack skin, which is a skin color, but it's got a slight green hue to it. And that should hopefully keep this in the somewhat sickly range. I don't want it to look like happy skin treatment skin. I thought the same thing. It does look like a giant eyeball cookie. So what I'll be able to do, and you can see where it's like kind of wrinkly, did that on purpose, and then the sort of palm-like grooves that are in there sort of help sell things a little bit also. I'll make this very skin-like, and then I can add other stuff to it. By other stuff, I mean I can make part of it look like it's got pus going on. Actually, I should set my clock at this point to maybe 10 minutes before I start degriming things. I'll set it to 12. That'll go off to remind me that I still got work to do. It does look like a cookie. It's like a very gross cookie. I can add some Nurgle's rot to it in certain places that'll look like pus. Do other things too. And it'll definitely get some amount of wash to it. It'll get dry brushed. And I can even do weird stuff like have mushrooms stick out of it. Whatever works. But yeah, this thing's going to be straight out the warp. Can't really do this with ultramarines. Though it would totally make sense because they go to some pretty warpy places. Just wouldn't look like home. I got to get all the way around the edge of this because it wraps all the way over the base. I need tweezers of some sort, or maybe just some piece of metal. Yeah, a piece of metal's good. Just so I can spin this around, spin this pizza, this cookie around a little bit. Make sure I'm getting all the edges into the little bits. It's actually funny because I got a little bit of a thumbprint in the side of it, but it doesn't actually look like a mistake because it looks like the palm of someone's hand. Creepy demon skin hand. Yeah, this is what happens when you paint yourself at night. Get a little bit more of a dab over here. There we go. Dab along this a little bit. Look at that. What a nice, disgusting base. Yeah, it's a flesh cookie. Everybody knows what a flesh cookie is. We did it. Time is a construct. The warp is forever. That is, going back to that one, absolutely true, as everyone is finding out as I continue reading The End and the Death. There is no time at that point. I guess I should probably, while I wait for things to dry a little bit, maybe scooch this guy out of the way. Show this thing off. So the tri-circle thing we did last night, that held up. I don't think it needs to be any darker. Sort of cleaned up the face a little bit. I actually added some blood for the blood god to the teeth today. Ended up going over the little skin parts and Gilliman flesh. You know what? I'm going to try to do one last thing. The tentacles got some Magos purple. I'm going to try to do a super tiny highlight on the eyes. So what's the... They are, some of them are hit or miss. I don't want to be too controversial, but some of them are a little hit or miss. It's, as someone who grew up, one of my earliest memories, and I think I was probably maybe 2 or 3 years old, was seeing Star Wars in the drive-in. By drive-in, I don't know if you guys are all that familiar with what a drive-in theater is. Oh, we did it. There's a little highlight on the eyes. Look at that, little shiny eyes. Drive-in theater, you literally drove up in your car. There's all these little posts out in this essentially large parking lot. Each one had a little speaker that was hung on the thing. You'd hang it on your window, and you'd sit in your car and watch the movie. Star Wars came out, I don't know, maybe a year before I was born. But it was still because the drive-in was always the last place the movies would go to before they finally ran out. Star Wars, the first one was so popular, it just hung out for like a couple of years in some theaters because people just keep go seeing it. Um, so I have very fond memories. But even if you go back and watch the very first Star Wars movie, like parts of it definitely feel like they're the 70s. People are kind of hip and cool, but it depends. I'm sort of I like them all, but yeah, yeah, it's super easy nowadays. And they even figured this out a long time ago. Still back in my day. Eventually, they got rid of the speakers on posts, and it was like just turn your radio to like a very specific like low band, like 88.3, and they just had a very localized radio thing. Now with Wi-Fi, it's like super easy. Yeah, it's Star Wars is really hit or miss. Like I very much enjoyed The Mandalorian. I still got a few minutes. I might as well base a little bit. I liked Rogue One, but it's very hit or miss. Look at that. I got gray tufts. I like some gray tufts. Switch back. I got to put a little bit more in this base before I go back to that Helbrute. Oh, I do have tweezers out already. God, it's so nice having all my stuff over here now. So nice. Stick that there. Oh, it looks great. Stick that there. Hopefully these things actually stick. Grab another one of these guys and plug it in next to this piece of concrete. Maybe another little tuft. A couple little guys out front. Just break up the monotony a little bit. And boom. Now he's got little fuzzy things on there. He's done. So many toys. So many toys. I gotta take pictures of this guy afterwards. So yeah. He's this guy's done and ready for action. I think. Maybe I could rust him up a little bit. He might need a little bit of rust. I would agree Disney is maybe better alone. Yeah, the UK's got no space. It's so tiny. Ah, no, there's plenty of rural places in the UK. I'm surprised that they don't have more of them. Excuse me. All right. Well, I still have a few minutes to wait on. I still got 5 minutes to wait on the Helbrute. So I am going to go in and add a little bit of Riser Rust in some very special spots on this guy. This brush has seen so much Riser Rust, it's got a permanent state of orange goodness to it. It's true. You actually like the thing is, yeah, it's kind of stinky when it's raining out. But they do hang on the inside of the window, so you can roll the whole thing up. All right, just get a little bit of rust here and there, even on the moving parts, which doesn't make a crazy ton of sense, but it is what it is. Get a little dampness on this guy. By little, I mean way too much. There we go. Now it's out of hand. Got to get some rust on these pincer blade things. Make them look properly gross. Doesn't need much. Doesn't need to be. You definitely don't want it to be symmetrical. That's something I struggled with early on with rust effects. Is like trying to make them consistent, and then you look at it and you're like, oh, that just looks like orange paint again. You want to be a bit inconsistent with your placement so that it looks au natural. Oh man, one of my kids does not want to be getting put to bed right now. I can hear her way off in the distance. Yeah, good stuff, man. And hits close to home. It feels like not too long ago I was just working my way through my first one, and it is a very, very satisfying endeavor. You just get so much personalization you get to do. That's why I like looking at other people's models so much. Is that like quite often it's not that I like, oh, I want to do that next. And I'm absolutely fine with people who like just surf for ideas. That's cool. But I just like people's take on stuff. And I see how someone else paints something. It's just very interesting to me. And you know how personal it is once you start painting. You're just like, wow, okay, this person spent hours on this. It's it's a really cool part of the whole thing. And some people, sure, they just paint. Some people paint and play the game. But like, man, if you play the game, you come up against someone who's got like a whole painted army. It looks really good. It feels good. You can see that pride that they got. Yeah, look at how rusty that is. Can't mess with that. Got some good shiny green on there. Just gotta squeeze in here as best I can. There you go. Give it a little twist. A little asymmetrical twist. Get some of these little fan blades. As I stall for time. My phone keeps ticking away. But yeah. Good job, Rust. Good job, Riser Rust. Yeah, it looks beat up. Seen some duty. There's my magical arm. We did it. Put that in the drink. Set this guy aside. Kill the alarm. Put my glove back on. And let's get down to grime business. All right. So this guy comes back. I can safely handle him by the horns. I'm going to close up my Rise of Rust. Find a towel to work with. Beat up painting towel. I now have a virtual army of these guys, which are a little bit easier to unstreak with. And I need to get Fumey with some mineral spirits. Probably a lot. That's life. It'll get a bunch of junk in it, so I do need to. Where to start? It's so dark underneath this, it's probably not even going to be noticeable when I start taking it off. I mean, it's coming off, but at what cost? Yeah, we had an amazing, and by amazing I mean truly amazing amount of rain this summer. It was just it felt like 5 days a week on average. It was not that awesome. I mean, I like the rain, but it was too much. All right, so this is working per usual. It does actually work. It's not particularly dark. As I said, I've still got that metal work to do, but just giving this a little bit of a squeege around the shiny parts. Make sure I don't go through too much. It's definitely filling in every gap with good, unholy vibes. So these things I find are way better than Q-tips because they're actually foam on the end. They last for a while. You don't get strings of crazy strings of cotton all over the place. These just behave better. Compliance and behavior are what I'm all about. We're just scooching in here, finding places to give this a little bit of a scrub. um, interesting. Christmas is gonna sneak up. I'd say probably no, but maybe something will come up. I gotta send you something before you send me something. Why don't you let me worry about Christmas? Hopefully that model I ordered does show up and is the model I intended to, and I can paint that for you and send it your way. But I think the ball's in my court. All right, so this probably looks no different on camera, but I can tell you for fact, um, this mineral oil is absolutely taking down a lot of this grime and showing through this nice green underneath. Absolutely works. I knocked a piece of the model off, but that's fine. Glue him back on in a bit. That might be spent. I am curious if I doubt mineral spirits actually break up the glue. These things are all pretty precarious, and I do have to give them a rub down also. We'll see how they hold up. More mineral spirits. And then, yeah, looking good. Oh. It is not as far through the channel. That is absolutely true. What a marvel. Think about a grillion, not a grillion, a couple hundred years, people thinking about like, ah, I just put a tunnel underneath this whole thing. It's wild. All right, now we work on this beautiful tentacular arm. Plenty of this stuff on there. I'm gonna actually just get a bunch of this mineral spirit stuff on the whole thing, and then I may grab something else to actually get the streaking off of it. I have more tools. As you can tell, I'm a kind of a tool collector. I like tools a lot. If you can't be good at something, get good tools. Feel like you're accomplished. So you also fake it. And don't worry about it if you make it. All right, so where did I put those? Yeah, I got these little makeup things. Oh, yeah, that works like a charm. Get in there, champ. See why people advise using these things. That is glorious. Dude, he already sent me something. He did. I don't have him out here. Mr. Bughead is a Dane original shipped across the ocean. My name's Matt. You can say my real name, but I do appreciate you asking about that. Um, I don't worry about it. I wouldn't say my whole name. I don't know that I want to get doxxed that bad. Not that I haven't before, but no, that was very courteous. Good manners. You know what? Now that I think about it, you probably should just use my pseudonym. That's probably the safest. Someone out there someday is gonna get mad at me for painting something a certain way. I get in an argument in my lawn about how I painted something. Wouldn't that be awesome? All right, so I don't know if these things are washable. They're thoroughly disposable, but man, they do work on getting the grime off of the most elevated spots without digging in too deep. They're kind of grooved in a nice way. Mr. Bughead's grand journey across the ocean to find his home. I mean, this stuff is just dope. I love this crap. All right. So now he's very thoroughly grimy, and I have to do like one last step of this with just holding the horn because my gloved hand is going to get all over the spots that I've rubbed and basically just rub more of this streaking crap back on, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. All right, that guy is grimy to the bone. Let him breathe a bit. Take this glove with this thing in it. A little pro tip. Put your gross smelling stuff, hold on to it in your hand, take the glove off over it. Wrap it up tight, call it a day. What a dummy. I do have to do something about this, which I gotta unstreak it. Or streak it. That last piece of tentacular goodness. For all that work and all that talk about that glove, here I am, forgetting one piece. A big dummy. There we go. Just get some of that grime off of there. Now that it's nice and damp with this mineral spirit stuff, I will just gently, this time, give this guy a little squeeze. Get some of this stuff off of here. I have a sinking feeling this is going to be a crazy glue fix this time. There we go. Well, the flesh cookie does not look half bad right now. It looks fleshy. It needs, I think, a wash of some sort. Probably do. I have a good wash for skin. Contrast, Mr. Gilliman Flesh. I'm not going to put not going to put militarum green on it. That's not happening. I think Reikland Flesh Shade will probably be too dark at this point. Well, maybe not. Maybe not. It's a shade. If I thin it, you got it. Going right back to the source. Going to my Lamian medium. If I thin it, it should be all right. I can take a few of these guys back and sort them where they go. Oh, let me just catch up on what you guys are rapping about over here. It all. Yeah, so what I think I'm gonna do, because Reikland Flesh Shade is like, it's red but not red enough, is I think I'm gonna 50-50 this with something a bit stronger. just grab this guy. And also, that is the Mr. Bughead in question in all of his glory. Shiny eyes, shiny eyes. Professionally poofed out base. His rusty weapons. Proud member of my Death Guard army. So I think I need something redder. That's contrast paint, not going to do that. I have something. Nope, that's a base. I don't want to do that. I'll find something. I know I have something good here. What do we got? That's blood for the blood god. I could do, this might be better. Maybe I'll mix both of these. Once again, the camera does no justice, but Reichland Flesh Shade is not too red, but Berserker Blood Shade is darn red. And if I combine their powers, maybe I'll get something I like. At the very least, what I do is plop some on my wet palette with some Lamian Medium next to it. Wash this guy off. Plop some of this stuff in there too, and then I can just sort of mix and match how red I want this business to get. You know what? It's not that red. All right, well, fix that too. Mix it even more. Every once in a while, you go straight to just red wash. Did I shake it? Of course not. Yoink. All right. Wash away. You know what? I'm going to scooch some stuff over so you can see what I'm actually talking about. So I can show, don't tell. This is Lamian Medium. This clear stuff looks like snot. That's red wash. That is Reichland Flesh Shade here. That is Sigvald Burgundy. I can just sort of dip around a little bit, get a mix till I get it somewhat where I want it. And yes, I just absolutely wasted a bunch of stuff, but that's fine. It's experimentation. Oh yeah, I think you're right. Nice red burgundy wash on here. Getting into all those cracks. Oh yeah, it's gonna be good. You know what? Honestly, just running through a mix of this, just run my brush straight through the different colors. It's actually fine. And you can, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but you can actually tell on this that it's hitting several colors. Go over the eyes, why not? A little red on the eyes. Make them happy. Good job, Cookie. The skin cookie. Sounds kind of vulgar. It is what it is. Dane, I can forward the picture. Yeah. I can short circuit the cross informational thing if need be. There we go. Good job, Cookie. Yeah, it looks better with a wash in it. Everything looks better with a wash in it. Set that to the side. Throw my brush around the room. Why not? Let us see if this guy's dried up enough. Doubt it. Doubt it. It's still a little damp. Still a little damp. But that grime is like a lifesaver. It's like all in the crevices, all in the nooks and crannies. When I paint, Oh, this dude, he's going to look supreme. I am going to, yeah, that's dry enough. I'm going to try to glue this tentacle back on. Because it vexes me that it fell off in the first place. But that is definitely a crazy glue moment. There's so many layers of stuff over that thing now that I don't think modeling stuff will cover it. Now I just got to remember what direction it goes in. Do I? There we go. That feels almost right. I'm also a loyalist. You do you. And I can't really find what direction this thing's supposed to go in, and it's sticking in my hand more than it's sticking together. Wow. Yep. The actual piece where it connects is like more than schmelted. Finding the right angle to get it to stick is really a challenge right now. But it's crazy glue, so I won't have to hold this forever. I hope. Give it a little wiggle. It's on there. I did get it right. Sadly, I am going to end up, I'm going to draw a little bead of crazy glue over this thing so that I'm certain it stays. That's the beautiful thing about this hobby is you find what part of it you like and you just have a good time. I am starting to get a hankering for actually Adeptus Sororitas, like the Sisters of Battle. I think I want to paint some models. I might get the Combat Patrol. I'm absolutely getting whatever it is, the Triumph of St. Catherine. It's like an amazing model. It's like a bunch of battle nuns dragging a corpse around of a saint. Yeah. And I won't be able to hide behind only painting stuff with weird helmets on them. I have to learn to paint faces because, like, faces and hair. But yeah, their aesthetic is just awesome. There's just all the stuff that's just like their tank looks like a church pulpit. So dope. I have to get a lot more black paint, more red, more gold. But I think I'm at least gonna try a few of those out. I like Necrons a lot, but I think a buddy of mine is yeah, Celestine is sick. Um, I think my buddy Ryan. I think I'm getting other people started. Yes. My friend Ryan used to play. I think he left in like sixth or seventh edition or something like that. And I heard he went out. He's familiar with what I'm doing now, and he's like, "Oh, you're painting." And I think he just went out to a store last weekend, so I may have a Necron army to play against soon. Um, but I think I'm probably just going to put together a couple combat patrols just for friends who would play and just have them on hand. Be like, you can either play my Death Guard or one of your combat patrols or whatever. Just have stuff around. Hmm. I'm gonna give this like 1 or 2 minutes just for that glue to set, and then I am gonna get down to business and start putting some of this warp lock bronze in that needs to be there. Here's the other fishy thing about this model when you put the flagellant things on it. Like, those buddies come off the base by a country mile. I'm gonna have to be super careful with this model. I like the fact that it's gonna be very asymmetrical like that, but sip of tea here. Get this warp lock bronze out. What did I order today? I also ordered some junk. I do that all the time. I ordered. Maybe I didn't order it here. Maybe it's my other Amazon account. Yeah, that's right. I got 2 Amazon accounts. I'm a big deal. I ordered some Scale 75 Effects fluorescent paints, and I ordered Vallejo's metallic set to see if I can get something close to Warplock bronze without paying $8 to $10 a pot for it. And you don't even get to use the whole thing because it dries up super fast. Oh, this mud. My name is Mud. I think I need to use a pretty tiny brush on this. Most of the detail work on here is fairly straight line stuff. Use a separate brush to scoop some out and get it on my. Is that clean? That's clean enough. Scoop some out and get it on my wet palette. Then I'll thin it out with some water. There we go. Man, I do like Warplock bronze a lot. Maybe too much. Crazy glue back, bronze back. Scooch that up. And get some water on here. Just thin it out a bit. This stuff is muddy. Don't thin it too much like I just did. I still have plenty of just raw paint on here. I'm good. Alrighty. Let's see if I can paint straight lines. Apparently I can paint straight lines. I don't want to talk too much trash about it though, because as soon as I talk, bad things happen. Pay for my hubris every time. But yeah, I mainly want to learn to, speaking of which, like paint straight lines. Plenty of those on Sisters, and just come out of my shell as far as painting faces, because faces are freaking scary. Things look super hard to paint. All right, we are rolling here. Oh yeah, I screwed that up. Scooch that cookie out of the way so I'm not leaning on it. Flesh cookie. It's vulgar. Gently and patiently we paint. There we go. Everybody just remain calm. We're just painting a model. I still marvel to this day how I do this to like relax and relieve anxiety. And it's like, do it in front of people, and it's nerve wracking. I don't know if it just fries a certain section of my brain, wherever anxiety comes from, but I have an amazing sense of peace right now, even though I'm scared to death painting this thing. It's pretty wild. All right, well, I didn't screw that up yet. have a knight. Pull him out in a minute. As soon as I get this back of this shoulder piece done. There we go. Still a little damp around here, so I may need to do a second pass. Obviously going a little brazen and fast here with this stuff. There we go. I'll let you sit there for a second. I'm going to wash this brush because I'm being nice to my brushes now. Even just a few passes with the metal stuff. I'm trying to get them a little cleaner. It's your boy. Look at that guy. Look at this little buddy's hanging out on his missile launcher. The first big model. This base has rocks from my backyard in it. So much stuff. Man, this brings back fond memories. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go back over this gun with my airbrush. I don't think I did a bad job, but it just looks dirty. Too much thick stuff on it. Boink, magnets. But I can definitely get some OSL on those little knobby things. Yep, finally got those nurglings on his rocket launcher so that it could be properly anointed and approved by Papa Nurgle. Alrighty. Run that through. Hit that? I think I did hit it. Wow, alright. First try. First try. My glasses stayed on my face. I guess it's sort of novel, but not helpful all the time. Ooh, still going. There we go. Thank you. I had a lot of fun painting that. I was getting to the point where I had painted so many small things that I was like losing my mind over it. I was like, I want to paint something big. And it's a lot of work. It takes a lot of time, but it is very worth it. And you get like 500 and change points out of it. So nice cornerstone of an army. All right. Well, hopefully that shows up. Yeah, it does. It shines. It's super dark. That warp lock bronze gives like a really nice dark mean sheen. Get over these little ocular deals, these little auspex guys. Get them all bronzed up. If I was really industrious, I'd bore out those eyes and put a couple of those eyeballs in, but I'm not that industrious. There are limits to my YOLO. Those oculars going. Get underneath. Whew. Have a great night. Thank you very much for hanging out. It was awesome seeing you. Um, and Dane, if you're on the way out too, that's awesome. Get some rest. I do very much appreciate that you guys stay up till like the middle of the night slash morning um, to hang out. It is a testament to the quality of this content that I keep people riveted to the middle of the night. I'm being facetious. I like that you guys hang out. It's good. It is fun. All right, I'm gonna stay on this side of the model and get these leg shin things going. Fun, fun, fun. This is a cool model. It has a lot of, I mean, obviously it's usable by any Chaos faction. And what's nice is you get like a good mix of imagery on it. Like at first I was like, do I really want this like eyeball in the middle with the eight pointed thing? Part of me was like, maybe I'll file it off. I actually thought about putting just an eyeball there instead. But now that I'm sort of looking around, it's like a lot of this sort of chaos, undivided aesthetic. It's kind of neat. Is that a horn or a spike? I think that's supposed to be a horn sticking out there. I can't tell. Yeah, it's got to be a horn. I'll paint that white later. But anyway, it's kind of a treat to get to like paint a little bit slightly different shapes. You should know I feel no guilt whatsoever for keeping you up. I sleep soundly knowing that I destroy other people's sleep cycles. And honestly, I do need to cut down on the nights that I stream because I have other stuff I got to do. But I'm on pretty regularly, so don't ever feel bad if you can't make one. It's all good, man. All good. Everybody just have an awesome night. And I'm super glad you showed up to hang out, follow along with this Helbrute fiasco and the meat cookie. And I hope everyone has a good night. Did I get that right? Did I get that right? I think I got that right. Yeah, let's just fill that in. Yeah, that's fine. Get some wash in there. Wash. This guy is rolling. got lots of that edging done. Whole lot of that edging done. I think I'm going to do that whole skull right there. Maybe just all this metal work around here also in bronze. I think that'll look good. That'll be the whole top end of this plate here. While I can, you can see I'm falling out of the camera because I'm hunching because it's getting tired. That'll go all the way around that. Fill in those eyes. This will get a dark wash on it, so the recessed parts will be certainly darker for sure. But if you can see on there, like getting that shine off of that skull on the shin guard, I gotta figure out what the shins are called. Get my armor terms straight. Yeah, that looks dope. If I do say so myself, and I do. Speaking of faces, getting in there and doing that guy's face is going to be terrifying. I might hit him with a base coat of white tonight so that he's just at least all ready to party. When I get to it, whatever day that is. All right. Well, I'm getting thoroughly bleary-eyed. I feel like there's enough good, solid progress on this. I'm going to call it a night. There's enough on here that needs to dry. The flesh cookie base looking horrifying, as you might guess. It's so good. I was thinking about putting some tufts on it, but they'll just end up looking like weird hair. So I'm probably going to skip that. But, you know, if all goes well, I might actually get this thing pretty close to done tomorrow and based. And this weird squishy base. But yeah, tomorrow I'll finish up the metal work. Basically this shoulder, this pauldron, his gun over there. I'll do a decent amount of rust effects on this. I'll get a retouch up of metal underneath, because a lot of that grime sort of just like darkened things quite a bit. Maybe I'll try to see if I can take more of that grime down tonight, but come off. We'll see. He'll probably get dry brushed under there a little bit. But then it'll be the face and the horns and stuff like that. Get this eyeball all set, and he'll be in good shape. Maybe don't do that around the spots you already painted tonight, champ. Think about that. Anyway, thanks a bunch for hanging out, and we'll see you sometime soon. Bye-bye.